You've been announced as part of an incredibly strong British contingent for the London Marathon. Does it feel like a kind of dream scenario to be running a race as prestigious kind of as a Brit?
Yeah, definitely. I think, yeah, especially last year making kind of the switch over to the roads. I mean, London Marathon was definitely gonna be one that I really wanted to do at some point. And yeah, after seeing the fields released just a couple of weeks ago, yeah, I'm like so excited to take part in. It must be one of the strongest British fields I think we've had. I don't know, maybe ever. So yeah, I'm really, really pumped.
I think that you look at the strength and depth of male marathon running as well in Britain, like it's got to be at a peak, and there's probably someone in the 80s that's going to come and correct me, but
Mm.
it feels like a peak. Does that make it even more special to kind of be involved with this event at the moment?
Yeah, definitely. I think we're just seeing some of the times guys have ran in the last couple of years, even like towards the end of last year at Valencia, and um yeah, I mean it definitely feels like people are getting closer to Mo's British record, and I know Emil's kind of spoke about that a little bit. So I think just to be in a race where there is talk of that possibly being attacked and yeah, even going down, I feel like yeah, I feel like that's really exciting.
Yeah. No, that is fun to be a part of, and so many of those guys that are running well at the moment, are they athletes you grew up competing against when you were here in the UK? I think there's only a year between you and Emil. Yeah, how often you must have raced those guys a whole lot when you were in school here?
Yeah, definitely a meal. I feel like we've had so many. Well, it's probably not been that many, but we've definitely had a few really close races. I always tell people over here about the Bucks cross country race we had in, I think that was 2019. But there's a really good picture of us both, like me running for Loughborough, me off St Mary's, just with like face paint, and both of us just crossing the line at the same time. And then even I think maybe not the first 5K I ran on the track, but the first time I broke 14, I think there was about 100th to split between us in a 5K. So Emil especially, yeah, I feel like we've had some really good battles over the years, and then yeah, even when I think me and Alex are fairly similar age, I guess yeah, I think we've had a few races. I feel like Alex would have been way ahead of me when I was a bit younger, but I know he's not doing it this time. But yeah, it's been cool to see his kind of step into the marathon a little bit. But yeah.
How much confidence has that given you, kind of, in your ability when you know you could match those guys, particularly Emil, you sort of, like you're saying, sort of pre-pandemic, that sort of phase before you went out to Tulsa. Yeah, when you've seen what he's done in the last 24 months, does it give you confidence you can be in that sort of space?
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, seeing his performance in Paris, almost getting a medal was I don't know, that was really really cool. I was obviously in Paris, didn't have the result that I wanted to on the track, but yeah, I don't know. It is cool to think that Brits can compete on the roads with the best in the world, and I definitely feel like that gave me a lot of confidence going into my first marathon. My coaches here really try and instill that in us. Just try not to be try not to big people up too much. Try not to be too scared, and just don't really try and limit yourself before the race even starts a little bit. So um, yeah.
Well, no, and Emil embodies that, doesn't he? Just sort of getting in there and racing with those guys on the road. So I'm wondering then, if we look at that 2024, going to the Olympics in Paris, it not going your way, and how did that play into your timing and your decision to go to the marathon? And was it influenced by Emil Korir doing so well as well? Are you kind of thinking, I need to get myself over there?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Ever since I joined Puma, Alistair and Amy were always kind of wanting me to do the marathon at some point. I think I think it was me being a little bit more stubborn, just wanting to stay on the track, and kind of thinking that the marathon was something that you did towards the end of your career, I guess. Um, but I think recently, yeah, I've had a couple of teammates join who've come straight out of college and gone straight on the roads and had a lot of success, and I don't really feel like people are wanting to wait as long as perhaps they did in the past. I mean, Emil obviously shows that. I guess yeah, he still runs on the track a little bit, but definitely made the step up to the longer distances early. So um, I think yeah, looking forward to the next Olympics. My coaches were kind of like, if the marathon is at all a possibility, we kind of need to do one sooner rather than later, because it is a totally new event, and it's going to take you time to learn it and just kind of get all the, I don't know, the fueling side of things down, and just kind of mentally just figure out the distance and how hard you can push here and when to hold back, etc. So I think yeah, it was definitely. uh, I'm sure they would have wanted me to have a go a little bit earlier, but it was probably me who was pushing back a little bit and wanting to do the track races. So yeah.
And then, what about the decision to debut somewhere like New York? It almost feels, you stepping up to such a tough distance, and then you choose such a tough course to have a go at. Like, what's the mentality behind that?
Yeah, I think the mentality behind that, and the thing that really excited me about New York was, well, I did the half marathon in March, yeah, early in 2025, and I really enjoyed that. That was a good race for me. I definitely feel like I could have done a little bit better at the time, but um, I think yeah, really enjoying that. And then the fact that New York didn't have any pacemakers, so I knew that it was it was just kind of a free hit a little bit, because I'd watched a few of the New York races in the past, and sometimes maybe one person goes off the front, or maybe it is a little bit more cagey in the beginning, and I just kind of thought, oh, maybe this would be a good one to start on, because if it is slower in the beginning and we're all still together, it really could present an opportunity in the back half. So yeah, I guess it was nice just really not caring about splits, and just kind of going back to why I got into the sport, and you're just racing people basically, not really thinking too much. So yeah, I feel like that was one of the reasons why New York was so appealing for a debut.
No, it makes a lot of sense. I think Jess Warner Judd was similar. She sort of felt like it, that was a good place to debut. But when you look forward to London Marathon, it's known for being really well organised with those pacemaking groups. We had Spencer Barden on the podcast, kind of talking about how committed they are to that element of supporting, particularly the Brits. How do you? What mentality do you bring into a race like London when it's gone so well in a race like New York?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a complete different switch up in terms of mentality, because yeah, you are getting after it from the gun, and you're really trying to find how aggressive you can be in that first half and still be able to come back strong. Um, so I think that is something I'm gonna learn over this build, just where exactly we think that line is. Um, because I mean, I definitely don't know right now, but I think in training, yeah, we just have to get a lot more comfortable running at that good tempo for a longer period of time, and really just trying to lock it in. But still, yeah, I don't know. I guess even though the focus is on the time, I don't want it to be an all consuming thing where I'm like, oh, if I don't hit this split for this 5K or this mile or whatever, I don't want to panic. I still want to have some like wiggle room there, and because I feel like in the past, whenever I've been like, I'm going after this time, it just creates way too much. It's just like mental load. I feel like um I remember, yeah, trying to run the 10K Olympic standard in Highgate, and it's just, yeah, I feel like I always get the best performances out of myself when I am racing other people. So I'm hoping that in London I can just get in a little bit of a group, and then just try and use that to really drive me on, and hopefully that will result in a good time. But yeah.
Well, no, and you were fearless in New York. Perhaps you think that's easy because if you don't think it's going to go out aggressively, but it's still pretty. Trying to think and try not to swear. Still pretty confident to go. To put yourself there at the lead in the lead group and chill out. So yeah, do you think you did have a lot of confidence in New York, and where did that come from? And yeah, why wouldn't that just carry straight into London, I guess?
Yeah, that is a really good point, I guess. I suppose one thing is like having the debut. It's like if I do this, like my coach said to me before, he's like, whatever happens, I know you can run with the leaders for 30K. He was like, I don't know about after that, but he was like, if you don't put yourself there, you're not gonna find out. Um, so yeah, it was definitely kind of just close your eyes and swing a little bit. With London, I suppose I know that. I mean, I don't know what the pace groups are, but I mean, looking at last year, I know they went out in 60, 61, I think, something like that. And I'm sure it's going to be around 61, maybe even quicker than that this year. And it it as nice as it would be to really swing for that, I just don't know if at this point in my career that makes the most sense. I definitely got a taste of it because I paced in Chicago when they did go for the world record, and we actually split. It was pretty funny actually. We split 60-16 at halfway, which was it was I mean it was basically my half marathon PB through halfway, and I was like, wow, these guys are really really fearless. Because I think there was 5 guys there, and the I think yeah, Kiblimo won, and who was the guy in second? Kipruto, he was in second, but it was they did slow down quite a bit in the last 5K or whatever, but it was just like, oh wow, like these guys really are gonna get after it and they are gonna attack it. And um yeah, I'm not sure if London is the right place for me to really do that at this point, but in the future, I mean, I'd love to be in a position where I can just be yeah, be like I'm just gonna go out with the leaders and we're just gonna see what happens. But yeah, I guess we'll see how the build goes, and I'll be able to update you a bit close to the race.
I could just picture Alistair being like, I think you can hang with this for 24K, then I've got no idea.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But no, and I think, with this being your first marathon and that first build, what were the biggest things you learned about yourself and the way you can train for this event, I guess mentally and physically?
Yeah, the biggest things I learned, I guess, were just how quickly my body can bounce back from certain hard efforts. So, for example, when I did pace Chicago earlier in the earlier in that year, whenever I'd raced a really hard half marathon, I'd definitely taken a few easy days and only got back into workouts maybe the end of the week. Paced, I remember pacing Chicago, going back up to altitude and doing like a pretty hard workout the following Wednesday. Um, and I felt great, and I was like, oh wow, like running this extra mileage, kind of building the extra fatigue. I'm really surprised at how strong I am and how quickly I was able to bounce back from such a hard effort. Um, I think other things I learned. One thing that was really cool while I was up in Park City before New York, I actually had the opportunity to um, train with Vivian Chariot. Um, so she also runs for Puma, and it was really cool to kind of pick her brain about the marathon a little bit. I mean, she's had so much success, and just has like a wealth of knowledge. So I feel like kind of asking her a little bit of advice, and she was kind of the one who helped me, I suppose, have that mentality going into New York. Just trying not to be as scared of the distance, be more excited. Um, Other things I learned, I suppose, I really learned how to dial in the fueling, and I feel like I did a really good job of that in New York. Um, like trying not to rush the bottles. Like when I grab the bottle, don't be in a hurry to throw it away. Just really try and take my time to get as many carbs down as possible, because I know that can help you in the back, like the back 10K of the race, and I feel like it really did. So yeah, I feel like those are some of the key things I learned during the marathon build.
Was there anything particular that like didn't go well that you tried and it didn't suit you, or anything you'd do differently?
Um, Honestly, I feel like it was yeah, I feel like it was pretty ideal. I definitely had some sessions that didn't go too great. Um, but I feel like I was pretty consistent with my mileage and my gym work, and sleep. Didn't really get sick, so I felt like I managed the body well. I really like getting a lot of treatment, so um, I feel like it went really well. Um, I think going into this build, I'm just trying. It's easier said than done, but just trying to raise the floor a little bit and just even make the bad workouts like still pretty solid. So um, I don't know. I wouldn't really say there was too much that I would have changed. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's nice. It sounds like a dreamy build up and a dreamy debut coming forth. And I think what you did for me was debunk the idea that when you start in the marathon, you've got to just run it and then you can have the luxury of racing it. Yeah, I love the fact you dropped straight in and you raced, and there was such a gutsy sprint finish with Albert Korir, and you came out in fourth just off the podium. And I'm wondering, what were the emotions on the day? When you were so close to podiuming on a debut, and what are they now, like following Korir's provisional doping suspension?
Yeah, on the day, I guess, I can't really say I was like disappointed disappointed even to miss out on the podium. It was funny when I first saw Alistair, where was your sprint finish? Because obviously I don't know if Korir has ever really raced on the track that much, and I'm not like too far removed from it, so it was funny. That was like the first thing he said to me, which was fair enough. But I think I'd be lying if I said I was disappointed. I mean, just the way I raced it, and um, just being so close to that podium, I definitely couldn't be disappointed with that as a debut. And then obviously, you don't think anything of it, and then a few weeks later, the news comes out about Korir, and it was definitely I don't know, it's definitely it was annoying because the moment's taken away from you, and you think, oh, like I could have had the British flag, could have been on the podium, which is, I don't know. I feel like, I suppose, the difference between getting fourth and being on the podium is really big. And it was, I suppose, in some ways it's when I look back at how many times Albert had been on the podium in New York, I'm like, oh, you kind of think about the repercussions of all of the people who could have missed out on podiums, or could have, because I think he's won the race before, so it's like somebody has missed out on winning the race. I mean, he might not have been cheating then, but I mean, who knows really? So it was definitely really disappointing news, and but it's good that the AIU is catching people, and I suppose it's fortunate for me that it's close enough that the result could be changed, and I could be awarded the third place, which I guess is a silver lining. So
Yeah, no, and we'll say, for the record, it's provisional. We don't know the date. This, that, and the other. It's still in the coming out in the wash. But when you're alongside, coached by two athletes that had phenomenal professional careers as well, in Amy and Alistair Cragg, like, this is a story as old as time, isn't it? Sort of having to deal with these things.
yeah.
And is it, when you look up at moving up to the marathon, and potentially, there were a lot of failed tests in that event. Is that something that put you off running it, or is it something you dwell on, or do you just get on with your own business?
Yeah, not really. I feel like it's something that you just try not to think about, really, I guess. I suppose, yeah. I mean, I'm sure in your career you've been around it so much. Like I know back in 2012, the women's 1500 final there was
Disgusting, we could say.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's it's yeah, I don't know. I feel like if you do think about it too much, it can just drive you down rabbit holes and make
Mhm.
you, I don't know. I just try and like focus on what I'm doing and just trying to do what I can do to the best of my ability. And I suppose, yeah, you just have to trust that the doping authorities will do their job and they catch as many people as they're able to. So yeah, I don't want to be like bitter about it or anything. I feel like, yeah, just kind of minding my own business and just doing what I can to get the best out of myself. But I suppose, yeah, when this is like the first time I've really been affected by it, and it is it is it is really difficult when you're pushing your body so hard and you know that other people are taking shortcuts. It's because you are obviously riding that line, and you sometimes you might push yourself into unsafe zones because other people are, yeah, you see them having these performances and you're like, oh, I need to get there, but it's not real. And um yeah.
Yeah. No, no, you capture it really well there, and yeah, it's perhaps it's almost really good to have this group of Brits as well, because you can kind of go, yeah, these are guys you've grown up with, guys you've raced against, and you kind of go, all right, let's all do that. And I want to take a bit of a look back at that. You've mentioned that you're over in the States, and you mentioned Loughborough, which I have to let you do, even though I'll mention University of Birmingham just to balance it. And you then went over to University of Tulsa for a master's. Like, how was that as an experience, and yeah, how did that come about?
Yeah, that was a really good experience. I think when I was, yeah, getting ready to leave Loughborough, I had a few offers, and I suppose, um, yeah, I'd spoke to some people who'd been in the NCA, and they were kind of like, oh, it's a no-brainer. So I feel like just going over there, and I think I got around 2 years. Yeah, some of, I guess, COVID hit like pretty early into my time there, but yeah, it was a great experience. I think, especially, I mean, over the last few years, the competition in the NCA is incredible, and it definitely sets you up for a professional career if you are able um to be competitive there. And yeah, it was a really fun experience, and I think, yeah, I'm really glad that I did take the opportunity, because if I didn't, I may never have got the opportunity to stay out here and run professional for a team out here. So I think that definitely helped, like building those connections out here. And um, yeah, it was, obviously it helps when you have success, but just like the life experience as well, I guess, coming out of university. And um, yeah, it was
Well,
just,
not having to go to normal, not having to go to a normal job, isn't it? That's what
yeah.
so many British
Yeah,
20, 21-year-olds are just like, work, NCA. I'm going to go to the
yeah,
NCA.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And I remember on my visit to Tulsa, and it was so warm at the time, and they had a nice outdoor pool on campus, and I was like, oh, you don't really get this in the UK UK that much. I can
You're like, are there
go
any
to,
outdoor pools in Loughborough? Not that I can think of.
yeah, I can just
Yeah.
go to some of my classes and then sunbathe afterwards. So
Yeah.
sounds pretty nice to me.
I mean, my next question was: is there anything you miss about being at home? You're not selling it. I mean, yeah, it's the two-part question really. It's like, where do you think your career would be had you not made that move? Because
Yeah,
it has unlocked real performances for you.
yeah. Um, I definitely do miss being in the UK. Just like the camaraderie and the running scene at home. Um, I remember racing Copenhagen last year, and there were quite a few Brits there, and it was just kind of fun to have that, like, I don't know, just be around that like banter again a little bit, because I feel like um in the US there isn't really as much of that, just because I suppose our team is, it's just different cultures, and Whereas, yeah, I do definitely miss the UK, and whenever I can get back home, it was nice after New York. I was able to spend the whole of November back and just
Not nice.
kind of catch up with people. And I'm sure after the London Marathon, I'll stay over for a few weeks,
Will
definitely.
you
But
get a hall pass for like road relays or anything? Yeah.
oh,
So
I
I
don't know
doubt it.
yet. I guess
That's before London, isn't it? Road relays. I doubt you can drop in and do that.
yeah. No, I don't think Alistair Amy will be too keen on that. But yeah, I think if I'd stayed in the UK, I don't know what level I would be running at, but I definitely feel like I still would have been running. I'm sure. I think the setup I have here is pretty hard to beat, and the setup Amy and Alistair have kind of put in place for us, just with um, they just make it almost they make it such a good structure that it's almost difficult to not perform and not have success. So whereas I think in the UK it is a little bit a little bit more difficult. You might have to do more things yourself, which isn't always a bad thing. But I definitely feel like where I am right now is the best spot for me to get the most out of myself.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'd definitely still be running. I'm sure I'd be taking part in a lot more of the road relays and doing a lot
Liverpool then.
more cross country races.
Yeah.
And I wonder, yeah, if I was still in the UK, whether I would have even had to go to marathon by now. Maybe I would still be doing track races. So
Well,
yeah.
and yeah, you mentioned it's the Puma Elite running team that you're a part of. Yeah, so where are you guys based? What kind of support do you get? Who do you train alongside? Like, how does that help you as well?
Yeah, so we're based in North Carolina, so more specifically the Raleigh-Durham area. So yeah, I feel like this is a pretty ideal spot for us. We have a trail called the American Tobacco Trail, and I think it's like 22 miles that runs straight. Um, there's probably 7 or 8 miles all soft surface, and then the rest of it is kind of a split between pavement and then soft surface. So there's definitely lots of it's the same runs pretty much every day, but it's when you're on soft surface, I feel like it's pretty good, especially running as many miles as we do. And then yeah, we have massage, like soft tissue massage support. So people on the team will typically see our masseuse once a week. We have access to a chiropractor. Um, I go and get regular acupuncture, which I've only recently started doing, but I found that that's been really good for me. And we have a like a physical therapist, which I guess similar to like physio back home, that we have access to. So we have like a really good support system there. And then as for training partners, I have a guy called Alex Mayer who recently ran the second quickest US half marathon in history. So I think he wasn't too far away from the American record, which is really exciting. And he was one before that I'd mentioned who'd moved up to the marathon straight out of college. I also train with Peter Lynch. He is also running London. He was the Irish national record holder, but uh, I'm sure he's going to be gunning for it again in London. And then Jack Rowe is actually coming out to join us. I think he gets in tomorrow, so I'm going to be able to do the majority of the build with him, which is going to be really nice. And um, yeah, then we have a young guy called Graydon. He recently made his half marathon debut, and he's running a track 5K, so he's kind of in the hybrid zone right now. And yeah, it's nice. We always have people kind of coming in to join us for a little bit. So yeah, I feel like the setup here is really good. And yeah, like I said, I feel like this is the spot where I'm going to get the most out of myself, especially going forward to the next Olympics.
No, and it's that dream, isn't it? It's what all 18-year-olds dream of. Go to the NCA system. Maybe not via Loughborough, but go to the NCA system, get in a pro group, and yeah, live the dream. And I think America was kind to you. Well, you worked hard in America and got your just rewards. You're NCA champion over 10,000 meters. top 8 finishes at Commonwealth Games, at Europeans. You mentioned, if you weren't in America, would you be a marathoner? Do you miss the track? Is it something you still pine for? Does it feel still like a comfort zone?
Yeah, definitely. I think I definitely feel like I could still run the 10,000 meters on the track at some point. I'm not too sure about the 5,000 now. Maybe that one is kind of gone, but yeah, it's one thing that is nice in our marathon training is our coach really tries to not keep us too far away from those hard intervals. So even though I am training for a marathon, like I feel like I could still run a good 10K at some point. And I think to be competitive over the marathon in the future, that you do really kind of need that 10K speed a little bit. If you look at the people who are, I mean, for example, like Kid Blimo's one of the best marathoners in the world right now, but he's also probably one of the best 10,000 meter runners in the world right now. So
we'll skip over the half marathon debate for the moment.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Probably one of the fastest half marathoners as well, but we'll have to wait.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But no, I definitely. It's nice. It's nice because I do still do the bulk of my sessions on the track. It's just more laps now, I suppose. It is fairly. I suppose the main difference is the really big long runs, which do take away from the real intense track work that you can do. But yeah, maybe get back on the track in 2027 a little bit.
You're not tempted by Commonwealth Games, Europeans next year?
I definitely am tempted. It's just I remember how bad my body was after New York, and just how long. I suppose some of it was just forced, that I couldn't really get back into training even if I wanted to, and then some of it was from the coaches, just really being like, take your time with this and don't rush, because rushing can just cause more problems and niggles can pop up. So I think a lot of it's just going to depend on how quick I bounce back from London, but I think I'm just going to, after every marathon, I think I'm just going to force myself to take a good bit of time off, just to really reset the body and get ready for the next build up. So I think a lot of it will depend on how much time we have. But yeah.
No, and you mentioned with Alistair and Amy sort of encouraging you to explore the marathon with a look towards LA. If you want to do another Olympic cycle, that marathon's your best choice. And when you look now at the next 2.5 years, are you confident that marathon is your future, or are you still looking for some sort of feedback from races to totally cement that in your head as your best shot for LA?
I think marathon. Yeah, I think just with how New York went, I feel like that's the closest I've ever been to being on a podium, and I know, I guess major probably isn't as strong as, I don't know with marathon. I suppose, like, how strong is a major compared to like a world championship? Obviously Olympics is going to be the strongest, but yeah, I think just with how close I was able to get to that podium, which is the ultimate goal going forward to LA, and just watching how 10,000 meter races and track races are run right now. I mean, last year in Tokyo, I was very glad that I wasn't in that race, because I was like, this would not have suited me at all. So I think the marathon probably will be my future. Going forward to LA, because ultimately that's the goal. Just try and get as close to the podium as possible. So.
Yeah. And you've alluded to Emile Caress with his fourth in Paris, and we've had wonderful performances from Callum Hawkins as well on the British side in championship marathoning. Now, Callum's someone that probably hasn't crossed over to those super fast times like Emile has. And do you think you need to have both of those tricks up your sleeve, a fast time and the ability to run in a championship? Can you can you master those two things in the next 2.5 years, or are you going to try and specialize yourself into a championship racer or a kind of speed racer?
Um, I think, I think, yeah, I feel like they probably kind of complement one another, I suppose. I think it's definitely going to be good to work on both, and I think this year it will be me working on running those quicker times. I mean, in London, yeah, you don't really have an option. You got to go you got to go for the time. So I think I definitely like to be as strong as I can in both, and I suppose, yeah, it just I don't know exactly which marathons I'm going to do on the build up till then, but I'm sure, yeah, I'm sure I'm going to have to do both at least once and kind of hone in on those skills a little bit. But yeah, I think, yeah, Callum shows especially that, yeah, I suppose, yeah, you don't necessarily need the quickest times to have that success in a championship, which is pretty cool. Um, but yeah, obviously it'd be nice to just have both in the pocket. But
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
guess we'll see. Maybe, yeah, maybe I will just be more of a racer, but I'd like to think I can run a good time as well.
And is there anything, again, because you're fairly new to marathon running, like, have you got a favorite workout, like something you absolutely love? Like, what's your least favorite aspect of being a marathoner?
Um, the least favorite, honestly, it's probably just like we do long runs for time, and I think this weekend we're supposed to have 2 hours 45 minutes. So our coach doesn't necessarily give us a pace to run, but just being out there for 2 hours 45 minutes is seeming pretty daunting to me. So I definitely have to work on trying to enjoy those. But I think Jack gets in tomorrow, so we'll have to save all our conversations for that run, so we can have something to talk about.
Are you going to have like a personal jinx for, yeah.
Yeah,
You'd be like,
yeah,
hold it.
yeah. So um, I don't know, but then coming from the track, I really love like the track sessions we do. So um, the other day it was nice. We actually did some 1200 meter intervals mixed with some 300s, and we were running like 62, 61. So I mean, it was like being back doing like 5K training again. So I enjoy that I can still do that when in marathon training. So
Yeah,
so
that
yeah.
sounds good. We've got we'll have a lot of listeners who'll be in training for London or marathons in general. Rich is actually doing London Marathon,
Nice.
one of our co-presenters. What advice would you give to these guys? At this stage, we're just getting into that build for London. It can seem a bit hard. It's rainy and horrible in Britain. You're not really seeing the progress in training. If you were coaching these guys, so what would you be saying to someone at this point in their build?
Um, I guess yeah. It's at this point in the build, I suppose you're probably going to be getting close to the most fatigue that you're gonna get. And I think we've just gone past, what is it? Or maybe I suppose it's like pretty early still in the build a little bit. I think is it 11 weeks? 11
11
weeks?
weeks? Yeah. It might be a
Just
bit
gone
later
past that.
by the time we publish this. Yeah, this is Rich is going to be cross with me for continuity here. But by the time we publish this, let's say it's more like 8 weeks in,
Eight
something like
weeks.
that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, people probably will be in I guess the real depths of the marathon training now. So getting in their longest runs. I suppose, yeah, you just have to kind of really rely on that discipline. And it's easy for me to say, being a pro runner, when other people have their jobs. I think just be disciplined, but don't, at the same time, don't be like too hard on yourself. Just really try and listen to your body, and um, kind of learn your own limits. And obviously you have to work hard, but yeah, just be kind to yourself as well. And um, yeah.
No,
It's hard training for a marathon, so yeah.
I wouldn't know, and I don't plan to know. So, and I guess we just final word really for you, Patrick, as we look towards London Marathon. What does success look like for you on 26th of April?
So success would be moving in. So obviously moving the time in a positive direction. So whether that is 2:07, 2:06, 2:05, I think moving that time in a positive direction and just kind of progressing the career along. So I feel like with London being such a focus on the time, I think as long as I'm moving that time in a downward and it's not going slower, that's the main goal for me.
No, well, thank you. We are beyond excited for that whole British group of men and what they could achieve come April. But we wish you all the best with your training over the next few months.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been great to jump on the podcast.